Yeah, welcome to the English virtual class. Namaste, children. In my previous class, I started lesson 3 of your literature prose lesson, A Hero. Let us recapitulate the story once. So, you have learnt about the protagonist, the leading character, Swami, who is a young child living in Malgudi with his parents and grandmother. Once, while reading the newspaper, his father reads an article about the bravery shown by an 8-year-old boy and feels that Swami should do something similar. Swami has the habit of sleeping with his grandmother after listening to a story told by her. This irritates Swami's father. Swami's father then challenges or rather forces him to sleep in his office. Okay, when Swami tells his friends of the ordeal, his friends warn him about a ghost living near the office. So Swami asks his friends for advice on how to escape from his father's challenge. They tell him to go to bed before his father comes home from work. Okay, however, his father does not let him sleep at home, wakes him and takes him there. So children, let's continue with our today's story. Yeah, hope you're ready, children. Swami's father sat gloomily gazing at the newspaper on his lap. Swami rose silently and tiptoed away to his bed in the passage. Granny was sitting up in her bed and remarked, "Boy, are you already feeling sleepy? Don't you want a story?" Swami made wild gesticulations to silence Granny. But that good lady saw nothing. So Swami threw himself on his bed and pulled the blanket over his face. As you can see in the picture, children. So Swami's father was, sat gloomily. I should tell you the meaning of gloomy here, some unhappiness. He was gazing at the newspaper, looking at the newspaper on his lap. Swami rose. Rose in the sense, children, getting up. It's the past form of rise. Okay, getting up silently, and he tiptoed. Tiptoed means walking very quietly, away to his bed in the passage. Granny was sitting there, okay, in her bed, and Granny said, "Boy, are you feeling sleepy? Don't you want a story?" As you know, already we discussed, Swami was in a habit of listening to a story from grandma before he went to sleep. Okay, so that day Swami made some wild gesticulations. Children, you should understand the meaning of gesticulations. That is gestures. Gestures are nothing but signals. He was waving to his grandmother to speak silently. Okay, so but Granny did not observe his gesticulations. So Swami threw himself on his bed and pulled the blanket over his face, as you can see in the picture. Granny said, "Don't cover your face. Are you really very sleepy?" Swami leaned over and whispered. Leaned, children. Leaned in the sense, in a sleeping position, bending position, leaning. Okay. So he leaned over and whispered, "Please, please, shut up, Granny. Don't talk to me. And don't let anyone call me even if the house is on fire." In the sense, he says, don't disturb him. If I don't sleep at once, I shall perhaps die. So you can understand, children, why he's talking like that to his granny. So he wanted to act like as if he fell deep in sleep. So he doesn't want to take the challenge thrown on him by his father. He turned over, curled. Curled in the sense he covered himself. He twisted himself in that bed sheet or whatever blanket. Okay, and he's acting as if he's fallen asleep. Okay, he turned over, curled and snored. Snored, the sounds people make while sleeping, okay? So under the blanket till he found his blanket pulled away. So pulled away by whom, children? You can guess. Who might have pulled away? Father, yes. Presently, father came and stood over him. Swami, get up, he said. He looked like an apparition. Apparition, you have learnt in the previous video, like a ghost. You know, Swami's father was looking like a ghost to Swami in the semi-darkness of the passage, which was lit by a cone of light from the hall. Swami stirred, moved. Stirred in the sense, moved. And groaned as if in sleep. Groaned, crying slowly with a low voice. Father said, "Get up, Swami." Granny pleaded, requested. "Why do you disturb him?" "Get up, Swami," he said for the third time, and Swami got up. Father rolled up his bed, took it under his arm, and said, "Come with me." Swami looked at his granny, hesitated for a moment, and followed his father into the office room. Hesitated, children? He was, doubtful, he was fearful, right? He hesitated. And he walked along with his father into the office room. On the way, he threw a look of appeal at his mother. Okay, as you can see in the picture here, appeal means requesting to stop him, okay, stop his father by taking him into the office room. So he rolled up his bed, took it under his arm. Swami looked at his granny, hesitated for a moment, and followed his father into the office room. On the way, he threw a look of appeal at his mother, and she said, "Why do you take him to the office room? He can sleep in the hall, I think." Generally, all mothers support their children. Same way, here also Swami's mother tried to support him. So, next, let us continue with the story. "I don't think so," father said, and Swami slunk behind him with bowed head. "Let me sleep in the hall, father," Swami pleaded, requested. "Your office room is very dusty and there may be scorpions behind your law books." So he tried to escape, children, by saying that, "Father, please allow me to sleep in the hall." Okay, but the father did not agree. "There are no scorpions, little fellow. Sleep on the bench if you like," he said. Can I have a lamp burning in the room?" So Swami requested once again. "I don't want to sleep in the darkness. At least, can I have a lamp burning in the room, father?" he asked. "No, you must learn not to be afraid of darkness." Father was very firm, children. He wanted to teach his child, not to be afraid of darkness. It is only a question of habit. You must cultivate good habits. According to father, Swami should cultivate good habits. "Will you at least leave the door open, father?" Swami requested his father. "All right, but promise you will not roll up your bed and go to granny's side at night. If you do it, mind you, I'll make you the laughing stock of your school." It was a sort of blackmail, children, from father. So father was blackmailing Swami. If you go to beside granny that night, okay, so he will be making a laughing stock, children, cracking, creating fun of him, fun of Swami in front of his friends. Okay, that becomes laughing stock. Swami felt cut off in the sense shame on it. Okay, so he didn't want that to happen, so he agreed. Okay, so children, let's continue. So he didn't want to get ashamed, in front of his friends. So he's from humanity. He was pained and angry at his father. Humanity in the sense here, kindness, children. So he was pained and angry. He didn't like the strain of cruelty he saw in his father's nature. Okay, children. So that at that moment when father was forcing him to sleep alone in the office room, Swami felt really very cruel of his father. Okay, so he didn't like that pressure of cruelty, okay, given by his father. that nature of his father. He hated the newspaper article, that day for printing the tiger story. All this has happened because of that newspaper article, according to Swami, right? He wished that the tiger hadn't spared the boy. Spared in the sense the tiger might have killed the boy, so there wouldn't be any such suffering from on him. Okay, so who didn't appear to be a boy after all, but a monster. So now in this situation, Swami felt that that village lad, okay, in the newspaper article, he was not a boy but a monster right now for him. So all this situation has come because of that newspaper article. So Swami is suffering a lot and he's cursing that boy, village boy, in that newspaper article. As the night advanced, children, and the silence in the house deepened, okay, all fell asleep. It was very quiet. Swami's heartbeat was faster. He remembered all the stories of devils and ghosts he had heard, from his friends in his life. He often had his chum here, children, a close friend. Swami had a close friend by name Mani, okay, seen the devil in the banyan tree at his street end, okay. And what about poor Munisami's father? Munisami's father, there was a story, where his friends has shared with him about the death of Munisami's father onto the, hanged himself. Munisami's father hanged himself to the banyan tree, and they told him that he was there over there like a ghost, okay, who spat in the sense spitting blood out of his mouth, children, because the devil near the river's edge slapped his cheek when he was returning home last one night. So his Swami's friends shared all the stories of the ghost children slapping on the cheek and all, okay. So Swami was recollecting all those all alone in the father's office room. And so on and on his thoughts continued. He was faint with fear, fell almost unconscious, children, with fear. So a ray of light from the street lamp strayed in. Strayed in means fallen. A ray of light was there and cast shadows on the wall. Though through the stillness, all kinds of noises reached his ears. The ticking of the clock. Children, in all, when everything is silent all around you, you hear various sounds. First of all, the ticking of the clock. Rustle of trees. Rustle of trees means the leaves moving, children. The sound made by the leaves, like in the wind when they move like that, there is a slight noise, okay. Snoring sounds of some people, elderly people sleeping there, and some vague night insects, children, the insects which make some noise there, okay. So you have the meaning of vague over there, uncertain. You don't know which insect is making that noise, okay. Some uncertain night insects were humming, okay. And he covered himself so completely that he could hardly breathe. Swami was really frightened of all this. Even every moment he expected the devils to come up to carry him away. There was an instance of his old friend in the 4th class who suddenly disappeared and was said to have been carried off by a ghost to Slam, the name called Slam or Nepal. Okay. So Swami hurriedly got up and spread his bed under the bench and crouched there. You can see in the picture, children, how he has come closer with his arms and foot, okay. It seemed to be a much safer place, more compact, compact in the sense very closely and neatly packed himself in the blanket, okay. So, and he was reassuring, he was filling himself with confidence, right? Okay. So, we'll continue in the next video, children. Okay, children, let's continue now. So, Swami was all frightened in the office room of his father. He shut his eyes tight and encased himself in his blanket once again. Children, here you should learn the meaning of encased. He was enclosed. He closed himself in the blanket tightly like that out of, fear. So he encased himself in his blanket once again and, unknown to himself, fell asleep, and in sleep was racked with nightmares. Racked in the sense, children, a torture. It was a torture, dream. He had a very bad dream, nightmare. Okay, so nightmare, meaning is given over there, children, some frightening dreams. A tiger was chasing him in his dream. His feet stuck to the ground. He desperately tried to escape, desperately, helplessly tried to escape, but his feet would not move, children. The tiger was at his back, and he could hear its claws scratch the ground. Scratch, scratch, and then a light thud, a big sound, a noise. Swami tried to open his eyes, but his eyelids would not open, and his nightmare continued. It threatened to continue forever. Swami groaned in despair, groaned. He cried with pain, children, in helplessness. Despair, helplessness. With a desperate effort, without anybody helping him, with a desperate effort, he opened his eyes. He put his hand out to feel his granny's presence at his side. As usual, he used to sleep beside his granny, children, with his arms around his granny, so that he was trying to feel his granny's presence over there at his side, but as was his habit, but he only touched the wooden leg of the bench, and his lonely state came back to him. So pity of Swami, no, children? Okay, so he sweated with fright, full over. He was sweating like anything with fright and, fear. And now, what was this rustling? Rustling, I already told you, children, rustling is a sound. A breeze, a slight breeze, leaves moving like that in the breeze, okay? He moved to the edge of the bench and stared into the darkness, stared, looking fixedly, children, into the darkness. He couldn't sleep out of fear, so he was staring, he was looking fixedly into the darkness. Something was moving down. He lay gazing, children, gazing, I told you, looking fixedly at it in horror, out of fear. His end had come, he thought in his mind. He realized that the devil would presently pull him out and tear him, and so why should he wait? He thought in his mind. As it came nearer, he crawled out from under the bench, hugged it. Hugging, children? He was hugging the devil, he thought. He hugged it with all his might. Might is strength. And used his teeth on it like a mortal weapon. Mortal, deadly weapon, children. When you are, suddenly you don't have anything in your hands to protect yourself. Your teeth are your mortal weapons, children. Okay, deadly weapon. So, ayo, something has bitten me, went forth an agonized, thundering cry. Agonized, cry in pain, children, with a lot of pain. Somebody were shouting, ayo, something had bitten me. So the person who entered that room that day might be a thief, children. Okay, so he was crying in pain, something has bitten me. So followed by a heavy tumbling. Okay, tumbling, when you are walking, children, you come across something and you fall down, you tumble and fall. So tumbling, that fellow fell tumbling and falling amidst the furniture, in the middle of the furniture. In a moment, father, cook, and a servant came in carrying light. So all the people in the house who were sleeping, they woke up, they came running with a light in their hands, children, carrying light in their hands. And all three of them fell on the burglar. Yes, as we guessed, children, that person was none other than but a burglar. Burglar is a thief who lay amidst the furniture. In the middle of the furniture, he lay down there with a bleeding ankle, as you can see in the above picture, children. So that fellow fell down there bleeding in an ankle place. Congratulations were showered on Swami next day. His classmates looked at him, with respect, and his teacher patted him back. Patted, appreciating on his back. The headmaster said that he was a true he was a true scout. You know who is a scout, children? Scout is a person who is sent to gather information. So that day the police were appreciating Swami, showering congratulations on him, saying that he was a real true scout. Okay, and Swami had bitten into the flesh of one of the most notorious housebreakers, a thief, children, of the district, and the police were grateful to him for it. Grateful, thankful. Police were thankful to Swami for, catching hold of the thief. The inspector said, "Why don't you join the police when you are grown up?" Okay, so what was Swami's reply? Swami said, for the sake of politeness, certainly yes, though he had quite made up his mind to be an engine driver, a railway guard, or a bus conductor later in life. Children, did you recollect something when I said an engine driver, a railway guard, or a bus conductor later in his life? Right, you have learnt in 6th class a prose lesson called How Daddy Decided Himself. So like that, Swami also had decided already that he would become an engine driver. Later on, he changed his idea to becoming a railway guard, then a bus conductor in his life. So now a policeman. When the policeman asked him, "Can you become your police inspector when you grow up?" Okay, he said yes, certainly yes. So when he returned home from the club that night, father asked, "Where is the boy?" So granny or mother, his mother, Swami's mother might have replied, "He is asleep already." Father said, "He didn't have a wink of sleep the whole of last night," said his mother. So mother was as usual pampering the child, supporting the child, saying that wink. He didn't had a wink of sleep, children. Wink means, closing your eyelids and opening like that. A wink of sleep the whole last night. You all know pretty well, children. Yes, truly, Swami didn't had sleep last night. So his mother was supporting. "Where is he sleeping?" father asked. "In his usual place," mother said casually. "He went to bed at 7:30, sleeping beside his granny again." Father said, "No wonder. He wanted to sleep before I could return home. Clever boy." So his father got him, children. Mother lost her temper. Temper means mood, children. She was in a bad mood now. "You let him sleep where he likes. You need not risk his life again." Father mumbled. Mumbled means speaking to himself, children. And as he went in to change his dress, might be he has come from his office, so he was changing his dress and he was mumbling, talking within himself. "All right, mollycoddle and spoil him as much as you like." Mollycoddle, let me tell you, children, pampering. Here meaning is given there to protect from unpleasant experiences. Generally, grannies at home, they pamper their grandchildren a lot. That is mollycoddle, children, and spoil him, he said to himself. Swami following the whole conversation from under the blanket. You can see in the picture, Swami is listening to the whole conversation between his mother and his father, right? And how did he feel? He felt tremendously relieved. Tremendously means, children, to a sort of great relief he had to hear that his father was giving him up. His father is no more forcing him to sleep alone in the office room. So that was a great ending, children. Swami was very happy and he went to sleep that night peacefully. Okay, children, so that's the end of the lesson, a hero. Hope you have enjoyed the story. Okay, and I have sent you the video also, children, Malgudi Day's story. You might have watched that. I hope so. Okay, so take care. Okay, stay home, stay safe. Bye bye.